So in this book, she's talking about the first time that she chose to like masturbate as like a ritual and as a practice, and how she's having a really hard time with it, and she's finding all these reasons why it's a bad idea. Like, she's not turned on, she's not horny, she needs to shave her legs, all of the above. Like, she's just not into it. But then it's like this internal dialogue of her voice saying like, no, like that's the point of the practice. Like, you have to. You said you would. It's about integrity. So like, how can you find a way to turn yourself on and accept pleasure? And so, okay, that's the recap. Now where the fuck was I going with that? Oh, right. So we've been talking a lot about flipping the switch, and she has this really interesting back and forth where it just like perfectly sums up like everything we've been talking about in like 4 lines, where she's like, just like, no, I just want to be tied up and have someone take it from me. Like, I just want to be passive. And that speaks to like everything I've been talking about, where it's like, yeah, I'm like kink friendly, like tie me up, let's see what happens. And then she's like, well, like, thanks for being honest about what you want, but you don't really have that option right now, so like what else can you do? And she was like, she said something about like not being present, like flipping the switch and just being animalistic about it. And like, what an interesting thing to like to also put that under the same category as not being present. Flipping the I recently used to think that flipping the switch was like something to go for, and it's the same escapism. It's the same, like, this isn't me anymore.
We've been talking about it in terms of flipping the switch to turn on some like kinky animalistic side, but in reality it's flipping the switch off on being present.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at it like that, and I'm glad to have a new definition for it, because like when do I just get to be me? Like, when is that enough? And this book is incredible because the way it's written is how I pictured writing about it, and the stuff that she's gone through is like, my God, like the major themes are identical, and it was just so validating. I never really thought I felt alone, but like having someone tell their story like that and having it be my story too, I just can't express enough like how powerful that was. And it's also really reassuring because there's some stuff right now that I know scares me too much, like if you bend too fast you'll break kind of thing, where like hanging out with our new friend at the strip club, or like going to these like other sex parties that we've been invited to, like I think that feels like too much right now because of all the shame that I'm still listening to. And reading this book and like being okay with myself, like both things are true. Like, I want to, and I'm not ready yet, and like that's okay.
Yeah, both and.
Yeah. Yes. And like that's been something I've believed in. Like, that's usually the case with things. It like rarely is it black and white, yes or no. It's usually both things are true. And to just be okay with my progress and be honest about like accepting myself for that is a very new thing. And I think it's it's challenging because the only way, like, I don't know what kind of experiences are going to fulfill me. So I think starting like baseline with like I should be able to like consistently please myself. Like I should be able to do that exercise where I just make it a habit and a ritual and I commit to doing it however often I want. And like not just doing it to get off, but doing it to like process the emotions that come up and write about it and like share that with people. I mean, if I can't accept like pleasure from myself, like how can I expect to receive it from anyone else?